What if reality was never meant to exist? Before time began, there was only silence, a void without light, sound, or meaning. Then, in an instant, something impossible happened. From absolute nothingness came everything. Energy burst into being, space unfolded, and the laws of physics began their eternal dance. But here's the terrifying part. It didn't have to happen this way. If the balance had been off by even the smallest fraction, there would be no stars, no galaxies, no you. Some call it chance, others call it design. But whatever it is, it seems the universe knew exactly what it was doing. Because in this endless cosmic equation, the answer somehow became life itself. What if the smallest change in the laws of reality meant we'd never exist? Imagine a universe where gravity was just a little stronger. Stars would burn out before planets could ever form. Or a universe where it was slightly weaker and no stars would form at all. Every atom, every breath, every heartbeat depends on an invisible balance so precise that even the tiniest shift would erase life from existence. It's almost unsettling to realize how fragile our reality really is. The speed of light, the mass of the proton, the strength of gravity, each constant is tuned with the precision of a cosmic symphony. And somehow, everything plays in perfect harmony. But here's the part that keeps scientists awake at night. None of this had to happen. There's no rule saying the universe should be this way. It just is. So the question becomes, is this perfection a cosmic coincidence or a sign of something deeper? Are we the lucky outcome of impossible odds or proof that the universe wanted to create life? But to understand how we ended up in such a perfectly balanced reality, we need to look back to a time when humanity thought the universe revolved around them. Long before telescopes or theories of relativity, people looked up at the night sky and saw a reflection of themselves. The stars weren't distant suns, they were divine fires, guardians of fate. The earth was the center of everything, steady and unmoving, while the heavens danced in perfect circles around it. To them, that made sense. How could humans not be the center of creation? For thousands of years, this belief shaped how we understood reality. Then came a quiet rebellion, thinkers like Copernicus and Galileo who dared to ask if maybe, just maybe, we weren't at the center at all. Their discoveries shattered more than just scientific charts. They cracked open humanity's ego. The Earth wasn't special. It was just another planet, circling an ordinary star, drifting through an endless dark. That realization was both humbling and terrifying. Because if we weren't the center of the universe, then what were we? Accidents? Observers? A flicker in an infinite void? The more we discovered, the smaller we seemed. Yet, the mysteries only deepened. And that's when a haunting question began to emerge. If the universe is so vast, cold, and indifferent, why does it seem so perfectly suited for us to exist within it? That question would follow scientists and philosophers for centuries, and eventually, it would lead to one of the most explosive ideas in all of science. It all began with a flash, not of light, but of existence itself. In a fraction of a second, everything that would ever be time, space, energy, and matter erupted from a single, unimaginable point. This was the birth of the universe, the Big Bang. For centuries, philosophers had believed the universe was eternal, steady, unchanging, infinite. But this idea shattered that comfort. Because if the universe had a beginning, then something must have caused it. And that raised a question science wasn't ready to answer. What existed before everything? In those first moments, the universe was chaos, a storm of particles and radiation, expanding faster than the speed of light. But even in that chaos, there was order. The temperature dropped just enough for atoms to form. Gravity pulled matter together to ignite the first stars. Out of the violence came beauty galaxies, worlds, and eventually, us. But it was all balanced on a knife's edge. If the universe had expanded a little faster, matter would have spread too thin, and stars would never have formed. A little slower, and everything would have collapsed back into itself before it even began. Somehow, it expanded just right. Was that balance random? Or was there something or someone guiding it? No one could say for sure. But what's certain is that this single event rewrote everything we thought we knew about time, creation, and meaning itself. Yet, not everyone accepted the idea that the universe had a beginning. Some believed it had always existed eternal, unchanging, and infinite. And that disagreement would spark one of the most profound debates in science and philosophy. The Big Bang was more than a scientific theory. It was a challenge to everything humanity believed about existence. Because if the universe had a beginning, then what was there before the beginning? For many, that question sounded less like physics and more like theology. Some scientists rejected the very idea of a creation moment. They preferred the comfort of an eternal universe, one that had always been here and would always remain. This idea wasn't new. Even in the Middle Ages, thinkers like Siger of Brabant argued that the world might have no starting point at all. To them, the notion of nothingness was impossible. How could something come from nothing? Centuries later, that same question resurfaced in laboratories instead of monasteries. The steady-state theory, popular in the mid-20th century, claimed that as the universe expanded, new matter continuously appeared, keeping everything eternal and balanced. It was elegant, eternal, infinite, and free of any beginning. But science has a way of humbling even the most confident theories. In 1965, two researchers, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, accidentally discovered a faint cosmic signal, the afterglow of the Big Bang itself, a whisper of creation, still echoing through space. The steady-state idea crumbled. The universe, it seemed, did have a beginning after all, and that revelation reignited the biggest question of all. If the universe had a start, was it random or was it designed? Because the deeper scientists dug into the laws that shaped everything, the more they realized those laws seemed fine-tuned, almost suspiciously so. The deeper scientists looked into the fabric of the cosmos, the more unsettling their discoveries became. It wasn't just that the universe had a beginning, it was that the beginning seemed too perfect. Every fundamental constant in nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the nuclear forces, the mass of particles sat within a razor-thin range that allowed stars, planets, and life to exist. Shift any one of them by even the smallest fraction, and the entire universe would collapse, freeze, or tear itself apart. It's like trying to balance a pencil perfectly on its tip and it never falls. Somehow, against all odds, everything stays in place. Take gravity, for instance. If it were even slightly stronger, stars would burn out too fast. Slightly weaker, and they'd never ignite at all. Or consider the nuclear forces that bind atoms together. If they were off by just 1 part in a trillion, no carbon could form, and without carbon, there's no life. It's almost as if the universe knew what it was doing. This eerie precision gave rise to what scientists now call the anthropic principle. The idea that the universe appears fine-tuned because we are here to observe it. There are two versions of it. The weak anthropic principle says that the universe must have these properties, otherwise we wouldn't be here to notice. The strong version goes further, suggesting that the universe was somehow compelled to produce observers like us. That second idea borders on the mystical, hinting that life isn't an accident, but a requirement of existence itself. But if that's true, then what about all the universes that didn't make it? What if there were countless failed realities, places where the constants weren't right, where stars never formed and life never stood a chance? That's where a new, even stranger theory enters the picture, one that might explain everything. If our universe seems impossibly fine-tuned, maybe it's because it's not the only one. Some scientists now believe that what we call the universe might just be one bubble in a vast cosmic sea, an infinite collection of universes, each with its own laws of physics, its own beginning, and its own fate. This idea comes from a strange twist in our understanding of the Big Bang. Right after that first explosion, the universe didn't just expand, it inflated, growing exponentially faster than the speed of light. But if that inflation didn't stop everywhere at once, then other regions of space could have continued expanding separately, forming other universes invisible to us, forever out of reach. Each of these bubble universes could have different versions of reality. In one, gravity might be too strong for galaxies to form. In another, time could flow backward or never move at all. And in a few rare cases like ours, everything might align just perfectly enough for life to exist. To some, this theory offers a neat explanation. Our universe isn't special, it's just one of the lucky ones. Out of infinite possibilities, one had to work, and we happen to live in that one. But there's a problem. No telescope can ever see these other universes. No probe can ever cross into them. The multiverse is a theory we can imagine, but maybe never prove. Still, it forces us to ask the question, are we really unique? Or just one outcome in an endless cosmic lottery? Because if reality is infinite, then somewhere out there, another version of you might be asking this exact same question, staring at the stars, wondering if they are the lucky ones. The deeper we dive into the mystery, the more it feels like the universe is whispering something to us, something we can't quite understand. Whether it's physics, fate, or faith, the question remains the same. Why does anything exist at all? To some, the fine-tuning of the universe feels like evidence of design, as if a higher intelligence set the dials just right, creating the perfect stage for life to emerge. To others, it's pure mathematics and chance, an infinite set of dice rolls, where one combination had to come up right eventually. But maybe the truth sits somewhere in between. Maybe the universe doesn't need a purpose to be miraculous. Maybe its very existence, its ability to produce stars, consciousness, and questions like this one, is the miracle. Think about it. We're made of the same atoms forged in ancient stars. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, they were born in cosmic fire billions of years ago. The universe didn't just create us, it became us. We are the universe, looking back at itself, trying to understand what it is. So perhaps the fine-tuning isn't a sign that we were meant to be here. Maybe it's a sign that we were bound to appear because the universe, in some strange way, needs observers. Without consciousness, without awareness, reality has no meaning. And that leads to one final, haunting thought. Maybe the universe didn't create us to understand it. Maybe it needs us to exist at all. From the ancient philosophers who imagined crystal spheres turning above the Earth, to the modern scientists mapping galaxies, billions of light years away, humanity's journey has always been the same: to understand where we come from and why we exist at all. Every answer we uncover only deepens the mystery. Every revelation about the cosmos feels like the universe whispering a little more of its secret, but never quite revealing the whole truth. We've learned that the universe isn't built around us, yet somehow it's built for us to exist within it. The same laws that fuse atoms in the heart of a star also knit the molecules of our DNA. The same equations that guide the motion of galaxies dictate the rhythm of a heartbeat. It's as if the entire cosmos, from the smallest quark to the largest cluster of galaxies, is tuned in harmony, allowing a fragile consciousness to rise and ask, why? We've found beauty in chaos, symmetry in destruction, and silence that speaks louder than any sound. The void isn't empty, it's pregnant with meaning. The darkness between the stars isn't absence, but potential. Every breath we take is proof that the universe doesn't just exist. It experiences itself through us. So are we special, or just lucky? Maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe luck and purpose aren't opposites at all, but two faces of the same cosmic truth. Because whether by divine design, quantum coincidence, or something beyond both, the universe arranged itself so precisely that life could rise from dust, gaze at the stars, and wonder how it all began. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't the Big Bang, or what lies beyond the edge of the cosmos, but why the universe became aware of itself through our eyes. Why, out of infinite emptiness, it chose to dream, because against all odds, through endless void and chaos, the universe looked upon itself and saw you, and maybe, just maybe, that was the point all along. So, what do you think? Are we a cosmic accident, or the universe's masterpiece?